So we can start the main agenda.
So today, what we're gonna today, uh, uh, we are going to see how to do a multi-node Hadoop setup. How to do multi-node setup. And in the previous session, we have seen single node or pseudo mode setup. And I believe that in the single node, you understand that if with one machine, you are going to in one machine you are going to do the entire Hadoop setup. And since this machine, the single machine, act as master machine as well as slave machine. And I am pretty, and if you have followed my last class video, and then master machine is referred to that machine where name node process runs. Slave machines, I and the slave machine is referred to those machines where the data node process runs. And that's why you can always say master machine as your name node machine if you want to make more clearer, and the slave machine is data node machine, right? I hope this is clear.
Yeah, so this is clear. But actually, I have one question because master, like we have a resource manager also as the master process. So
That's
why
what
cannot
I
we say
told
that a
you.
resource manager
In
machine?
Hadoop, master machine is referred to as a name node machine. So don't get confused with the master processes and the master machine. That's, I think you have missed the explanation when I was giving you that when I have explicitly mentioned that don't get confused with the master machine and the master process. The master machine is only one machine, okay, and that machine is always referred to as a name node machine. And you have a two master process. Please don't get confused. Master process, there are two master process, name node and the resource manager. Is that clear? The machine where the name node will run, that is known as a name master machine.
Okay.
Slave, there are two slave processes. There are two slave processes, a node manager and the data nodes. But slave machines are referred to as data node machines, not the name node machine. We generally don't consider that. And please understand, resource manager can run, since it's a master process, it can it's ideally run on separate machine. Run on separate machine. When I say separate machine, machine other than name node machine. It's just a nomenclature, guys. Okay, name node machine or the master machine, they are one and the same, where the name node process is running. If you are running the resource manager, well and good. But if the resource manager is running on some other machine, I will still refer the master machine as my name node machine. Is that clear?
Yes. So thanks so much.
To just clarify what I have just told is this. You have this is your pseudo mode setup. Single node or pseudo mode setup. One machine is acting both as a master machine as well as your slave machine. Okay, as since it is acting as a master, so as a part of being a master, it runs three processes: name node, resource manager, and the second manager. Since this machine is acting as a master, this is also acting as a slave machine, it acts as your data node and the node manager process. So all in all, it runs all the five processes together on the same machine. In a multi-node scenario, I will take two machines and I will designate one machine as my master machine and one machine as my slave machine. So in this machine, since it is acting as a master, so only three processes will run, and on this machine, data node and the node manager. If master machine also acts as your slave, no one stops you, right? Then it will also run data node and the node manager. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now,
Yes, Som.
so today's agenda is this. What we have in the previous section, in the previous class, we have brought up one node Hadoop cluster, and this was acting as a master and as well as a slave. Let's say the host name of this machine is X. It is something IP hyphen something something. So I'm assuming the host name of this machine is X. Okay. How did I configure? If you remember that, how did I configure that this machine to act as a master as well as a slave? How did I configure? If you remember, we have created two files, master's file and the slave's file. There were two files. If you remember, in the master's file, I have given the host name of this machine. In the slave's file, I have given the host name of this machine. Right? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Som.
Now today I will take up this machine as is, but I will now bring up a new machine. Okay. Now, if you see that previously we have set name node was running. My idea is name node is already running here, resource manager, secondary name node, data node, and the node manager. Since this machine will be your master machine or slave machine, so this machine was already acting as a master and slave. What do you think this machine I will make? Master machine or a slave machine?
Yes, slave machine.
I will make this as a slave machine. Okay, so slave machine, if I make this machine as my slave machine, which all process it will run?
One is
Data node,
data node
Data node and the
and
node
node
manager.
manager.
node manager.
Node
Okay.
manager.
Now this data node should know who is master, right?
Yes.
Correct. This
Yep.
node manager, that means for data node, who is the master? Name node. The node manager, this guy should know who is master. That is, for him, the master
Resource
is
manager.
resource manager. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's one thing. Okay. If I want to configure this machine as my slave machine, you have a master's file which you have already entered, and you have a slave's file. XX, that was the configuration. Now, if you are adding a new machine, what will you do? You will put Y, assuming the Y is the host name of this machine. That's it. Is that clear?
Yep.
Yes, Som.
But this guy, if you want to run that, if it will run data node and node manager. So this data node, where in this slave machine, he should know who is the master. That is who is master means where is my master running? Name node. Where is my name node running? And this guy should know where is my resource manager running. And how do I come to know? Which property tells you the address of the name node? fs.defaultfs. I hope you have followed my video. So in the core-site.xml, fs.defaultfs, this property is mentioned in core-site.xml. How do you know? Because you see the prefix of the property and you decide that which file it belongs to. So it is a core. It's since it's the prefix of the property is fs. So this property will be searched under your core-site.xml. So this property will be found under core-site.xml, and and this property specifies the address of your name node. Similarly, yarn.resource-manager, I'm not going to write full, dot address specifies the address of the resource manager. So if you see, observe, I have to do the same configuration right here also, because the address of the name or whatever I have specified here, I have to specify the same here. Whatever the address of the resource manager I have specified here, the property, it has to be specified here. So what I'm trying to do, what I will do when I'm doing the configuration, I will just sync the configuration as is. Sync the configuration files as is. That is fine. So I will do that. That's it. Is that clear, guys? So that's how we're gonna do a multi-node Hadoop setup.
Uh, so actually, I have one question here. Won't we be adding master file and slave file in the new node also, right? That also we will do.
No, we will not do it. Ideally, it does not require, right? Because start-all.sh, when you do a start-all.sh, you will do it from the master machine. No, you will run this
Okay.
command from your master machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you run the command from your master machine, in this machine you have the master's file. In the master file, you have X entry. So it will start your DFS, right? Whatever. Then in the slaves file, you have provided X and Y. So it will go and start the slave processes in X and Y machines, where X and Y are the host names. Either you provide or don't provide does not matter. It matters, the
Okay.
masters and the slaves entries matters when you run your, from where you run this command. Start-all.sh, because in that machine it will search for which machine is my master machine where I have to run the master processes, and which machines are my slave machines where I can run the slave processes.
Okay. So this start, stop, all those commands needs to be run only from the uh, master machines, right? Not
And
from the slave machines.
please understand, I can run this command from any machine, start-all.sh. Okay, you can run this command from start hyphen. To answer your question, I'm saying that, but see, start-all.sh will can be run from any of the machine. But when you are running from any
Mm-hmm.
machine, make sure you have the master's file entry over there. In the master's file, it will check for which machine is my master machine, which machine is my master
Okay.
machine, so that I can start my master processes. For example, I have to start my master process. What master process? Name node, resource manager. Though secondary name node is not a master, but still it will run the secondary name node. Then it will check. You need to give the slaves file. In the slaves file, you have given the entry, let's say X, and in the new line you have given Y. So it will check out this file and it will start the slave processes. What are those slave processes? It's a data node and the node manager the slave processes on X and Y machines. So you can run it from any machines, provided you have the appropriate master and slaves file. Now you have asked me that whether I have to copy the masters and the slaves file onto my new machine or not. My answer is not
Yes.
necessary. You don't have to copy it, because this whatever I explained since you are doing in the master machine, so I pretty much obvious that masters and the slaves file you will be editing over there. So
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily is required to copy over there. But for the sake of simplicity, you can copy all the configuration files. You can keep all the configuration files alike in all the machines. few configuration files, few properties can be same across all the machines. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So it would mean that we have to copy the Hadoop binaries also, right?
To bring up a new machine, we have to do the JDK as well as the we have to bring up download our Hadoop tarball also.
Hadoop binary. Okay. Okay, okay. Thanks so much.
So I'm bringing up my machine, and simultaneously I'll bring up my new AMI. M3.x large. And next, configure instance details. I need one. Add storage, that is fine. Add tags, I can say Apache Hadoop data node. Configure security group. SSH is required. I can put a, for the time being, SSH is only required, but custom TCP rule, let me just check whether I need a 5010 port from anywhere, because this is the data node port, 5010 port. Yeah, so let me just check it out, or else I'll come back later and can change my, I can change these rules, right? So review and launch. Okay, launch. I will use my existing key value pair, and I acknowledge, you have to acknowledge that, and I'm going to use my existing key value pair, and I say launch instances. And also please observe what I'm going to show you is the hot deployment. What is hot deployment? Hot deployment basically means you can add a new node to your existing cluster when it is running without disrupting any services, any running services. That's a hot deployment. And that was also, if you have listened to my first video, that is also one of the requirement, that if you want to add a new node to the existing system, you don't have to restart or stop your all the machines. If a new machine has to be added, it will be a hot deployment. Yeah, without disruption of any service, you can deploy it. There will be a little bit of hiccups, I believe, which I'm thinking because of the key value pairs. I think, let's see that. We might not be able to do a passwordless SSH, but in case if we are not able to do, then we will see how we'll do it. But I think there can be some problems here. So this is my master machine. Let me start my processes over here. First, let me bring up my in videos. I think this the font size was very less of my terminal.
Yeah, somewhat.
And let me do an SSH to my name node. That's just an alias which I have given. And I'm there. Let me start my processes. Start all.sh.
So Som, right now you are on the same instance which we created last time, right? It's
Yeah.
the current, what is currently
Yes.
in the cluster, right?
Okay, I can run the command JPS to see all the services. Name node is running, resource manager is running, data node is running, node manager is running, and the secondary name node is also running. So all the 5 processes are running. Let me also go to my web browser and check the name UIs. So I can take my public DNS, and to view the name node web UI, the port number is 50070. And once you click it, yes, it is coming. That means name node UI is working. That means the name node process is up and running. But also, I also have to look out for the live nodes, wherein it will show you the number of data nodes are running. So the number here one is shows that one data node is alive. Now, when we bring up the second node, the number of live nodes will be 2. Now, similarly, I would like to see my resource manager UI, and the port number is 8088, which will bring up your resource manager web UI, which will show up all your applications and everything. And I click on the nodes on the left hand side. You can see that, right? So you can click on these nodes, and it should show you you have one node manager running. Yeah, and when we bring up the other node, and since it will be acting as a slave, and we know that on the slave machine it will run 2 processes, data node and the node manager, so you should ideally see 2 nodes running. Okay, now going back, and we have to do a couple of configurations quickly. So this is our new node, Apache Hadoop data node, the tag which I have given. It's up and running. Okay, and let me go back to my terminal. So let me take up a new tab, which is of man page. So when I command, let me make the font bigger. Okay. And let me change the host name as data node, and let's say SSH data node. Yes. And now I'm inside my new machine. That's my data node machine. And I quickly need to install Java and as well as Hadoop. So for that, I will open up my hands-on document, cut, copy, paste everything line by line. So first sudo yum install wget. So I should ideally put yum -y here so that I don't have to type yes next time. Okay, and then you install Java. That's the Java which we are now downloading. Okay, the color got copied. So now it will it's downloading Java. Let us also put the download the Hadoop. So if you do an ls, so your Hadoop and the JDK both are downloaded. Now let us untab one by one both of them. Okay. It's the problem with the cut copy paste. It's a minus. Let's also untar our Hadoop. Again the same problem. Cut copy paste. So tar minus zxf. Okay, and then let us move to the appropriate locations. So we are moving the Hadoop to the location user local Hadoop, and similarly we are moving the location of user JDK to user local Java. And now we have to provide the environment variables vi.bashrc. These are the straightforward things, right, guys? We have already done it. Export
Yes,
Java
so
home, path, the Hadoop home, everything. And also I think Hadoop conf here. Okay, I think we have done there in the our first machine. And let me just say export Hadoop underscore conf underscore directory is equal to dollar Hadoop underscore home slash etc slash Hadoop, and say source dot bash rc. And now you can always say echo dollar Hadoop home, so that it's working or not you will come to know. If echo is working, then that means the bash rc environment variables have successfully been sourced. Okay, now that's it, guys. So this is the only piece wherein I am little confused that if I pass up my authorized keys to this machine, then I think either I will lose the machine or something will happen. I'm not sure, because if you see here SSH, let me say what's the host name? SSH host name is this, and now do an SSH host name backtick. It is working. Okay, and what is the host name on this machine? Host name. So this is the host name. Can I ping it first? Of course I should be able to ping. Oh, I'm not able to ping.
So, do we need to open any port?
Okay. But which port? For pinging, it should be 22 port. Anyways, I have opened.
do we need to disable the firewall? Because that might be blocking the connection which
Firewall
is
is
coming
anyways
from the other.
not be running. So you
Not running?
system CTL.
Okay, so one thing I noticed is like though it is open, it is not that anywhere option is not set. I think.
Just 1 minute. System CTL firewall D status firewall D. No, firewall IP tables. How to check IP tables dot service? Could not be found. System CTL. Let me say sudo service IP table status. Yeah, it's not running. I have firewall D status also. Firewall D. Yeah. What you're saying, Sajid?
Yeah, actually in the console, when we open the port, there are two options. One is custom and the other one is
From anywhere. Yeah.
anywhere.
I think from anywhere we have
Connect
to.
from anywhere.
Where is my security tags?
Yes, yeah.
Here.
It should security groups. I think.
Inbound and outbound rules, both are there. Inbound is your custom TCP rule
Yeah.
from anywhere. Let me just put it as anywhere. Okay. And the outbound, all traffic. Yeah, outbound is fine. And edit anywhere. Okay. Now let me just check whether I'm able to ping. Okay, I need to check the outbound. I am trying to do an outbound traffic, right? Okay, let me make an in.
So, the other server which you created, they are on the same subnet mask, right?
Yeah, it's,
फिर तो कोई इशू नहीं होना चाहिए ना?
it should not be any issues. It's just some security group problem. I don't fiddle with
हाँ,
that right now. Can you see that now
या
it's working?
हो गए. Okay.
I've just made an all traffic. That's how it changed. Right now, I don't want
अच्छा
to
all
fiddle
traffic.
other with which port I have to open and all.
हाँ.
So I made it as an all traffic right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm able to ping and all traffic is enabled on here. Now what I want to do is, can I do an SSH like this to my other machine? That's my, let me just check host name. Very sorry, host name, and that's my, the permission denied. You can see that, right? So I'm not able to, I am not able to communicate to this machine in a passwordless manner. I have to do a passwordless communication. Now the only way I can do it is through my PEM file. If I use my PEM file, I can. Ideally I will be able to do it. So let me. So this is my machine. Okay, SCP. So let me go to my. Let me just try it out. This is the only one part which we have to little worry about, that how to do a passwordless communication. So I'll do an SCP, right? SCP minus. Okay, SCP, and how do I copy my PEM Hadoop training.pem to EC2 hyphen user EC2 hyphen user at name node comma home EC2. Okay, I've copied this to my PEM file here, right? Now let me do an SSH to this PEM file Hadoop train.pem, and I should be able to do an SSH this time to my other machine. So this was my host name of other machine. You can see that, right? I have successfully done the what do you say, SSH to my other machine. Yes or no, guys?
Yeah. So,
31,535, 31,535.
थोड़ा थोड़ा actually मतलब थोड़ा it's not fully clear. If you don't mind, थोड़ा can you just summarize if you don't mind?
I wanted to do a SSH to my other machine. So I wanted to do an SSH to my other machine. I was not able to do it. Permission denied. Why it is a permission denied? Because that machine accepts only the PEM file, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Already connected to your AWS machine. From your local box, you use putty and connect to your AWS machine, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It is for any other machine also, it is the same thing, no? Whether you log into your AWS machine, and from that machine if you want to connect to other machine, it uses the same PEM file because it recognizes the same PEM file, no?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I did the same thing. I have copied the PEM file from my local machine to the AWS machine,
Okay.
and I did an SSH to that machine. That's it.
O- Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks.
Now, the other thing which we have to do is something like this, and that is where I am little. Uh, Let me see whether I can. If you see this cd.ssh, This is the private key. ID underscore RSA is your generally your private key. And whenever you do an SSH, it by default takes up this ID underscore RSA. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just first make a copy of my Hadoop ring.pem. By name ID underscore RSA1. And what I will do, I will take a backup of my SSH ID underscore RSA. I'll take a backup MB ID underscore RSA to ID underscore. I'm just taking a backup so that if something bad happens, I can always revert it back. Okay, and now I can move the one ID underscore RSA dot one to my current folder by name ID underscore RSA, and that I have copied. Now let me check SSH. Uh, host name should be different. This is 31.13.18.8, and the host name of my other machine is 31.5.35. Both are different. Now I say SSH to this machine. It's still throwing the same exception that it is not able to do an SSH to. Now it is not able to do its local host as well. The first step to work the SSH, the following step. So what we are going to do, how to do a pass. So you brought up a new machine. New machine is brought up. New machine is brought up. Right? I hope till now it's clear, right? What did you do? I'll make this as my data node 2 machine. Data node machine. I'll name it as a data node machine. The first machine which we have brought it as, the first machine we will name it as a name node machine. Guys, are you there?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, so
The first machine is named as, I'm naming it as, just to make sure that you don't get confused when you're doing the hands-on. Third, now you have what your aim, what's your goal? Your goal is to you should be able to do a passwordless communication. You should be able to do passwordless communication from name node. That's your name node machine. Or shall I? Okay, name node machine to your data node machine. That's your new machine which you are bringing it up to data node machine. Right? That's your goal. Step one,
Yeah.
check whether you are able to ping both the machines, whether you're able to ping the machines from each other. That's the first thing. That's okay. Now, step two, in order to do the passwordless communication, you have to copy the authorized underscore keys file from name node machine to data node machine. Okay, that's your step two. Now, you cannot do it like this. How to copy? So, step 2A, what you need to do is to copy the PEM file from your local machine to name node machine using SCP. I have used SCP. Since you are on Windows, you can use FileZilla or WinSCP or whatever, some means of copying your PEM file from your local machine to a named machine. Then step 2B, what you need to do is to copy the authorized underscore keys file. So the command which you have to run is, so let's say, okay, so copy the FileZilla. Let us say you are copying, let's say you have copied that file, you have copied this PEM file under home ec2 -user. That's where you have copied. Now run this command to copy that, your authorized key file, scp-i, assuming the PEM file name is my PEM file, my PEM, my pvt private key, my pvtk.pem. That's your PEM file name. I'm just assuming, okay? It could be any other name. So scp-i ec2-user dot ssh authorize underscore keys ec2-user at your host name of other machine. Colon home ec2-user dot ssh authorized underscore keys. And once you are done, step 2C, from named machine, run SSH and the host name of data run machine. That's it. And this, it should not ask the password. So if it is not asking the password, that means everything is working fine. Is that clear? So
Yes, so
I have done this. This is the command scp-hadoop training pem my authorized underscore keys file. That means if I was under my cd.ssh before, when I was running this command, I was under cd.ssh and then I ran this command. scp tilde sign, that's your home directory. My PEM file is Hadoop training.pem. This is the file which is under this location. You do an ls. So if this is the file, so that's why I have not given anything. And the authorized keys, the username and the host name of the other machine, and I'm copying to home ec2 user. Once I copy to home ec2 user, I actually, I just to make sure everything works, so I have taken some backup and everything, so that if anything messes up, it should be fine. So I have taken the backup of my already authorized keys present in this file, and then I have moved my authorized keys from running this command. It has gone to home ec2 user, so I brought it back to my under SSH location on the other machine. I have taken the backup of my previous authorized keys, and once I come back to my previous host, and let us say what is the host name here of other machine, and if I do an SSH, it should not idly ask me the password. And please note, it is not asking the password. And check the host name. The host name is this 172.31.35, and here also 172.31.535. That means I was able to do the SSH without asking any password. You can run the exit command to come out of that machine. Is it clear?
yes, so very much.
Okay, now as I've told you, what I'm going to do here is cd $Hadoop underscore conf. Well, I have given the conf. Okay, I think in this machine I have, when I was explaining, maybe I have given the conf directory. There in the first machine, that's in my name node machine, I have just given conf. Here I have given add. So let me remove that so that it is same. And since I have changed my bash rc file, so don't forget to run source.bash rc. Okay. Now here you are under first. Let us check where are we. We are under configuration folder, right? etc Hadoop. All the configuration files are present, and I'm gonna add the slaves entry, slaves file. And in this, I'm gonna add the internal IP address of the other host machine. And that's it, I have added. Right? Is this clear?
Yes, so
Yeah, I've added the slaves entry. Generally, what we have to do is fine. I mean, you can see that I have to just sync the files from this machine to other machine. So what we're going to do is sync the configuration files from your name node machine to the data node machine. And for this, we'll be using rsync utility. Instead of doing the manual copy and everything, we'll do an rsync utility to copy, in other words, to sync the files or folders. Generally, rsync can be used for files and folders both. And I'm on this machine, on my name node machine, and I just wanted to do something like this now. rsync minus avg $Hadoop underscore conf, right, to ec2-user at hostname colon $Hadoop underscore conf slash. Please make sure this forward slash is very much required if you are syncing the directories, or else the sync will not happen. Make sure you provide this forward slash. So once you do this, you can see that it has the changed file. The files which are different from one machine to another machine, it has synced. So obviously we have changed only these 5 files. So it has synced those many files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to see that, let us go to our conf folder here on my other machine and open up your cat. I think you remember this property when we have done the configuration, right? You can also check cat masters. You can see that
yeah.
cat slave, so it has perfectly synced our file. So in the slaves, you have 2 entries. Now, without disrupting the service, we are going to bring it. Now, since the cluster is already running, what I'm going to do, if I want to start my Hadoop processes, I will just say Hadoop data node. And let me just tell you this Hadoop data node, it is going to start. And it has started the data node process. And let me come back to my UI to verify whether we have 2 live data nodes or not. So right now it is 1. Let me refresh this page. I think it has trying to connect to server. So you see this. It is retrying connect to server. It has started, but it is retrying connect to server. For some reasons, it is not restarting it. Okay, so that means some problem. So let me. Okay, that's a problem with the. It is trying to connect, right? But remember the security groups of my first machine. It might not be allowing the inbound. Some inbound rules might have been problem, because in the inbound rule I have only given 50070 and 50010. Let me just check it out. What is my inbound rules? It has to communicate to 54310, because the data node, if you see this error, it is trying to communicate at the port 54310, right? And I have not opened the 54310 port on my name node 1 to be listened by all. So let us see this inbound rules. I have not opened inbound. You can see that I have not opened, right? I can add it up and I can do that. Let me just, for your just for the sake of completion, I will tell you custom TCP rule protocol and the port range 5000. Can I give a range 5000, something like this, 0 to 50,000, 50070, 50,000, 50,000 to 60,000. Yeah, and save it. Okay, from anywhere. Save. Yep. And let me just go back and start my process. Just for the sake, just for, let's see whether this time it is able to start starts the communication. Yes, it has started the communication, because this block pool and everything is coming up. Now this time, if I go back and start refresh, it should show me 2 live data nodes. You can click on this live nodes and you can see the 2 host names. Yeah. Similarly, what I'm going to do, I want a 2 resource manager. So if you have seen that I have started my data node process on the slave machine manually, not through the start-alt dataset, because I wanted to show you that in the already the cluster is up and running and I have added a new node. You cannot run the start-alt dataset again. So what you are doing here, you are bringing up your new node and you're doing the configuration and you're starting the process. Now, I will say SSH data node. Again, I'm SSHing to my data node so that I can start my what do you say, node manager process. So I'm inside my data node and I say Hadoop node manager to start my node manager process. Okay. Yarn node manager, I believe. Yep, Yarn node manager, and it has start retrying connect to server 8031. So it is trying to connect to server 8031. So again, it has not started. What we have to do, we are going back to my security groups and open the 8031 port. So again, I can add my edit and add rule, and I'll say custom TCP rule 8000 to 9000 from anywhere, and say save. And come back here. Let me see the previous process which was running, if it is already running. ps minus ef grep node manager, it was running. So kill minus 9 9844. Okay, and let me say data node is running already, right? ps minus ef grep data node. Yes, data node is running. Now I'm gonna say yarn node manager to start my node manager process, and this time it should be perfectly fine. Retrying connect to server 8031. 8031. Did we do any configuration changes? 8031 is already opened. 8002, 8031 will fall under this from anywhere. Okay, let me open up my node manager first and let me refresh this. Yep. So Control C. Let us open the yarn uh, resource manager address. Why 8031?
8032.
It should be running to 8032, right? Retrying connective server 8031.
Yeah.
yarn-site.xml. Did I give 8031? No. Okay, that's fine. Let me just check whether I'm able to ping my other host name. So here, whether it is able to ping this machine or not. Ping my other. Yeah, so it is not able to ping from the other way around because, correct guys, can you see that it is not able to ping from
Yeah.
535 to other machines. So what we will do is basically we are fiddling with the security ports, but I hope the idea is clear that we have to open few ports to make it work. So now edit, I'll add a rule, all traffic, whatever traffic from anywhere working. Now if I'm able to ping my machine, yes, I'm able to ping this machine, and let me say yarn node manager. Again, it's very interesting. It is connecting to 8031 for no reasons at all.
Mm.
What could the reason? Let me just figure it out. Let me just find it out. Um, user local. Where did we share? Where did we have defined? View inbound. Out inbound is everything is open. Outbound is also everything is open. All traffic, all port range, and we have inbound. All traffic. Where's all traffic one? Yep, all traffic, all from anywhere. And the other machine, all traffic, inbound, outbound, both are all traffic. Yep. So there should not be any problem. So, but it is trying to point to 8031, which is weird.
Check the configuration file, maybe what got copied.
Interesting, it is trying to connect to the server, this server,
Mm.
which is
00.
weird. I'll provide the etc host.
Yeah, etc host. So एक चीज पूछ रहा हूँ, do we need to study a bit on AWS as well,
What is that?
real life में? Do we need to learn something AWS also?
No, not necessarily you have to learn.
Not required.
Knowledge is always good.
मतलब the kind of अभी जो target हम कर रहे हैं उसकी जरूरत नहीं है ना?
No, no, it's not required.
Yeah.
Now let me just check ping. And let us now start yarn node manager. Why it is trying to ping there. Now again is sending out to 8031. It is trying to ping the resource manager at 8031, which is not the correct. Resource manager connecting at 8031. Okay, let me, if that could be some problem, but I hope the idea got cleared, right? That how to
Yeah.
bring up the machine. Yeah.
Uh,
So now let me do one
yeah.
thing. I will kill this data node process, and now from my name node machine, I'm gonna say start hyphen null dot all. First, let me say
So
stop hyphen all dot
so
sh.
सो मेरे को एक सवाल पूछना था, जैसे डेटा नोड हमने जब नया बना ना, जब स्टार्टिंग में तो वी डिड हडूप नेम नोड माइनस ई फॉर्मेट.
You don't have to do it for
सो
every time format. What does it mean? It will only create the name node related things. You don't have to create for every machine. You don't have to run that command.
हाँ यस.
What you have
ओके
now,
ओके.
please also observe here, guys. It is going to other machine and starting the data node manager. Now you say clear, and now you say start hyphen all dot sh, and see that it will start automatically all the 5 processes on all the machines, all the processes on the machines. So you see that here it is doing. See the IP addresses. It is going to different machines and starting the processes. Now run the command jps to view resource manager, node manager, data node, secondary name node, name node. Also go to this machine on your other machine and run the command jps. You see data node and node manager. Let us go to this and give the port as 5070, and you should see 2 data nodes. Here you have 2 data nodes, and also you have to give 8088 port to view the name node resource manager web UI and nodes. For some reason the other node is not coming up. We can debug it later, but yeah. So guys, what you need to do is, if you have remember, it was showing us some 000 and 8031, right?
Yeah.
And what we have done is we have opened this. How did we debug it basically? So I opened my yarn default.xml and searched for 8031 port. And 8031 port, it was basically, it was trying to, it is mapped to yarn resource manager resource tracker address. But this, if you see this, it was actually trying to connect on its own machine, the other data node, the other machine, because we have not defined it. So what we have done is we have went inside our the other machine configuration directory, open up our yarn-sat XML, and added this property, and we are saying that don't connect to yourself, connect to the other machine, and the port is 8031. And then we have manually started our resource manager here, yarn node, sorry, not yarn. We have manually started our node manager, and then we have went here one, so it has not thrown any exception of retrying anything, and then it has started, and then we came up to UI and refreshed this page, and we have seen two nodes. Now, for the sake of completion, what we will do is we'll stop everything, and we'll come up here. What is it? Okay, it is my log file which I opened. I will first say stop -all.sh to stop everything, and then I will again restart everything to make sure that everything automatically starts. It started.
Yeah.
Now let me start again. So run the command JPS to see all the 5 processes: resource manager, data node, node manager, secondary name node, node manager, name node, and come back to other machine, run the command JPS. Since this machine is acting as a slave machine, you should see only data node and node manager. Go back to UI, refresh this page, and your port number, please remember 5070, and see the two data nodes are up and running. Click on the live nodes, and it should show you both the nodes. If you see you're saying 5010, basically this is your data node port. Now refresh this page, click on the nodes, and you should see two node managers running. So this completes the multi-node Hadoop setup on using multi-node Hadoop setup using Apache Hadoop. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
That completes the. So in the next module, we gonna talk about HDFS operations. So on Apache Hadoop. So we'll talk about how HDFS operations, basically file system operations like put operation, get operation, ls operation, mkdir. There are a lot of operations which you're gonna do it in the next module, and we also understand what kind of file system we are talking about in HDFS. Okay, what kind of file system we are talking about when we say HDFS, whether it's a physical file system, whether it's a virtual file system, or what kind of file system we are talking about, or is there any kind of a restriction on HDFS, what kind of restrictions are there, and so on and so forth. So all those intricacies we're gonna talk about tomorrow. In that we will talk in the next class.
Okay.
Make sure, guys, before you go, please make sure that you have stopped your instances.